We now shift to Wojo Damas, the bracketologist. Although sometimes you want to be a proctologist, I guess, for working with a-holes your whole life.
Oh, wow.
I'm putting myself in that.
Oh, my Lord.
Oh, wow.
All right.
I don't know if that's not a visual I want.
All right. So, Woj, how many games does John Jansen's alma mater have to win in Chicago to make the NCAA tournament?
I'm going to give you a strange answer, but I believe it. 1.5. I really do believe that. If they beat Rutgers, that would be a quad one win. And if they play toe-to-toe with Purdue, and if they win, then I think they're definitely in if they beat Purdue. If it's one of these overtime games again, because I think that's the reason why the BRCA/proctologists keep putting Michigan right on the cusp, even though they keep losing these games, is I do think they're watching the games. And when you watch them lose 3 overtime games on the road to Iowa, Indiana, and Illinois, you think they can hang. And a win over Rutgers would be good. That would count pretty big. And I do think a win over Purdue would put them in. But even if they go down and, quadruple overtime, I still think they would get consideration because they're still getting consideration now despite having 14 losses.
Wow, we're putting in a team that just blows every close game possible. Let's put them in. Come on.
Getting
really?
in with
That's
a half
always part
win,
of
it's
it,
a moral. You're counting moral victories.
Yeah, and Rutgers is playing like crap right now too.
Well, first of all, isn't that how we always do college sports, college football? Well, they have a great record, but do you see they only lost by 1 to Alabama or whatever? We do that all the time. Now, I don't think that would be the deciding factor. The truth be told, they probably have to beat Purdue. But I don't know. Some major bracketologists have them in with just a win over Rutgers. I think that would be pretty iffy, but we'll see.
Spartans, what seed will they be in the real tournament?
I think right now they're a 7, maybe an 8. A win puts them up to a 6.
What if they get 1.5 wins?
1.5 wins puts them at 5.5. No, 6.5. If they lose the first game, I mean, it's not that big of a deal. I still think they'd be a 7 or an 8. I think they're going to be either a 6, 7, or 8 based on 1 win or 2 wins. If they win the Big Ten, they could go up to a 5, don't you think? Maybe.
Well, they might want to not win. They want to avoid that 5-12 matchup. Just kidding.
Yeah. As long as they lose in double overtime, they're fine.
Yeah.
You don't think that matters how a team looks?
In football, yes, because it's 1 of 12. In basketball, it's 1 of 32.
But it's actually like 6 or 7 of whatever. How many? I mean, they had a close win over Central. They lost to Central Michigan in a close game, too.
Yeah, the Chippewas were tough that night.
Yeah.
Wojo, not with this Michigan team. They've already got 10 close losses. Another one's not going to help them.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what will hurt them? Just throw it in the basket. Look at it. We've seen that before. No, I totally get what you're saying, and I'm not saying they would be in, but they actually got the best possible draw in the Big Ten tournament because the first round, if they somehow were facing Minnesota or whatever, that does nothing. Rutgers would be a quad, and then you get the next possible big splash you could make against Purdue. So they got no excuses now. None. I agree with you. If they lose in close game and overtime, then they probably should be screwed because they've done it enough. I'm just saying how these things play out. Let's see. I mean, at the very least, they're in consideration, I assume, for the play-in game. Was Stoney went on to Dayton for that?
Nah, I wouldn't go to that. Not because
okay.
my alma mater is not playing because they gagged the game on Sunday. Anyway,
you would go if Michigan State was down there.
Maybe.
Because you like Michigan State basketball.
Right. Yeah.
Right. It was the early game. If I got back in time, yeah, maybe.
And if
By the
Bruce
way,
was
I
there.
think
yes.
I think Indiana's going to win the Big Ten tournament, and I'm not just basing that on recency bias with Trace Jackson Davis, but I Purdue, the number one, they're the best team, obviously by far, but they haven't played that great down the stretch, and I always wonder about incentive for a team that has they might even have a number 1 seed in the NCAA tournament wrapped up right now, too.
Didn't Indiana lose to Iowa by like 40 points last week or something?
Yes. but they swept Purdue.
That's true too.
This season.
Yes.
That means beating them twice. No. College basketball is ridiculous. There's no streakier team in the conference. We say Michigan because every game they're up 10, they're down 10. But Iowa's the ridiculous one.
I know.
I mean, they slaughter Indiana on the road. They come back against Michigan State. They have a bunch of weird ones. The whole Big Ten is streaky and freaky.